I'm Zenbach, and you are
Carl Big Daddy Reamer.
Carl Big Daddy Reamer. What brings you to my happy Studio 7?
Oh, we're going to talk about Blockfest 14.
Blockfest 14. You know that follows Blockfest 13.
Yes, it does.
So tell me about Blockfest 14 in the year 2014.
Well, it's on June 1st. It's a Sunday afternoon. It actually starts at 11:30 in the morning and goes till about 9 o'clock, and we have a lot of good things in store for this year.
Okay. Let me ask a few questions, and you could tell me what. Last time you had an opening act, I knew him.
Yeah, you were him.
I was him. That's my plug. And then after that, you had several acts, and then you had some very nice people with some very nice happy causes around there. You had a neighborhood. What was your title for your neighborhood?
It's a community awareness event.
Community awareness. Okay, I get that wrong, but it's very important because you are bringing a focus to the community with different aspects of it, with different people.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it you're doing that again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tell me what you got. I said enough.
Well, what do we want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the bands? You want to talk about the organizations?
Let's talk about bands, because that gets people there.
Okay. Well, we have a couple of bands coming back this year that we had last year that were favorites. The Kerry Carney Band, Stanton Anderson Band,
Great.
Sweet Susie, Big Daddy and the Bulldogs, and we've also added this year Seven Turns, Allman Brothers tribute, and Killer Joe and the Lido Soul Review, and Zenbach,
Yeah, and me.
and Bobby Sinatra, and a few others on the acoustic end.
Now you're running
Oh,
one.
Frank Latore.
Oh, Frank?
I don't want to forget him.
Well,
Yeah.
no, don't forget Frank.
Yeah.
So you're running now the one stage this year.
Yes.
Okay. Last year we had two.
Right, but this year we're going to, instead of having two separate areas and the acoustic performers to feel slighted that they're not
Right.
on a big stage, we're going to have a curtain that goes across about 5 feet back, and then the acoustic performers will perform right on the front as the bands are setting up in the
Okay.
back.
Okay. So this way music flows better between the stages because you have the setup time is cut down.
It's about the same amount of setup time.
Well, I'm saying to anybody who doesn't understand this setup, you're having it's sort of a two-stage type of thing.
Which is what we've
In one area.
done the last
In one
couple
area.
times, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just saying that some places do separate stages, and then the audience has to pick up and move. Where in your gig, you can bring a chair,
Mhm.
you can sit down, and you don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
Mhm.
That's why I mentioned
There you go.
it. All righty. Well, okay, we got bands, and they're playing from like around noon on.
Yes, until 8:30. Maybe we'll go a little over. But we'll be done by 9.
Okay. And who do you have in the way of, I guess, between vendors and in the community awareness?
Well, I'm happy to say that the Northport VA Medical Center mobile unit will be on the site this year. Also, Contractors for Kids, NAMI, which is the National Organization on Mental Illness. We also have Guardians of Rescue, Save a Pet Animal Rescue, Animal Angel Animal Rescue. You interviewed a lot of these last
Yeah.
year.
We're going to repeat all that.
Tough Tales Rescue and Pets for Love. Those are the 5 rescue groups that are on. Contractors for Kids, they're an organization that assists families of children with terminal illnesses. And Long Island Music Hall of Fame is coming.
Really?
Yep. And so is the Long Island Blues Society
I know them.
and WUSB radio station.
Okay, so you got all the biggies, the local biggies,
Mm-hmm.
and I take it people are they encouraged to bring food this year, or
Well, we're going to have the same type of food available this year as we did last year. We'll have the barbecue guy cooking up inside the pavilion, and then there's a coffee truck guy on the outside that's good for the hot dogs and stuff for the kids. But you can bring coolers as well. We don't expect people to be, spending a whole lot of money. If you have a family, maybe you want to bring a picnic basket and cooler. We just ask that there's no glass inside the cooler.
We didn't tell people where this is.
It's at Fireman's Park in Patchogue. It's just east of Shorefront Park, which is where the Great South Bay Music Fest is, and it's on DeWitt Street at the corner of Smith.
Now, you said Blockfest 14. Is that because this is the year 2014?
Yes.
Okay. You have done Blockfests prior.
13 of them.
13.
This will be the 13th. Just subtract one from
No.
that's how you know.
Well, I had
how
icon.
many.
I had icon shows that ran strange numbers. They never matched the years. You're getting, and I'm glad that they're matching the years. But I think my point is that you're not new to promoting music, and you're certainly not new on the scene with bands and Act One, and you're certainly not new to promoting a block festival that, in your case, outgrew the block.
Yeah.
I have never heard of a block fest that outgrew the block.
It was a good thing. We were happy to move to the park, although there's tons of expenses that we have now. The mayor basically said 2-3 years ago, this event is getting too large for the block, and they suggested to go to Fireman's Park. That was all well and good, but there's lots of expenses.
Yeah, porta potties.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
Porta potties, stage, insurance, rental of the property. There's a lot of expenses, but we seem to cover our expenses with the gate money and the vendors.
See, what's interesting from my end is that you have moved where the overhead went up, but that personal vibe stayed the same.
That's important.
That's a very big thing. I have seen some events outgrow, and because of the money on it, and the venue costs, insurance and all, the intensity to make money took away from the event and the friendliness.
Right. Well, still no one's making money on this event, so that keeps the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
None
you
of
can
us
make money because you can use it for the next,
Well,
hopefully.
well, we do. We do have seed money for the following year, and thank goodness that we do, because, we need that to get started early. And, everybody that's working on my team we're all volunteering our time. All the bands are volunteering. It keeps the vibe that way.
Yeah. Well, this is one of these great events. I mean, I totally enjoy that. Now, this is going to be on the first. It's a Sunday,
Yes.
and this is a rain or shine date, correct?
Yes.
I want to make sure people get that.
Now we have the big circus tent again this year. That helped us out tremendously last year. We did actually have light rain 3 times during the day, and nobody really went home because they were able to be under the tent.
I don't even remember that. I mean, I'm sure it happened, but it didn't significantly make a change to the event.
Yeah.
And all. I met a lot of different groups last year. I interviewed several of your community groups, and it was interesting because some of them have a name and you really don't know what they do. And then I found out the usage of the groups, and it's great because you can actually go there and go from table to table and talk to people and get a feel for not just that they're trying to get maybe awareness of what they're doing, maybe get a volunteer if somebody is affected in a family by a situation and understands the need for that particular cause. But it was interesting to see how they all connected as well. It wasn't competition.
No, not at all.
If somebody had an issue that was better suited 2 tables down, they directed you 2 tables down to somebody.
Right. And this year the setup's going to be slightly different. In prior years, we've put all the 501c3s in one row. But I got a suggestion, I think it was Eve, as a matter of fact, to go 501c vendor, 501c vendor. This way there's more activity for both.
Better idea. I think it's a better idea.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that this year. Also, I guess you know who's flying in from Florida again to MC our show, Mr. October.
Mr. October. actually comes here to do a show this year in June. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Last year I was going to call him Mr. August,
Yeah.
but this year he's going to be Mr. June. Oh, that's great. Now, what makes him unique is he's a very outgoing personality, and he has the mobility of doing interviews anywhere within the field.
Yeah, with his wireless mic.
Yeah, well, he is the king of wireless mic in interviews.
I'd like to add that this year, besides the bouncer, and this ties into Mr. October, we also, besides the bouncer for the kids, we have a trackless train. I don't know if you see that. I added a trackless
No,
train.
let's talk.
So
first.
I could definitely see Mr. October on a train emceeing while it's going around.
We have a trackless train, and you said bouncer, so we're not talking about a get out of here type bouncer. You're talking about you got a
bouncer for the kids.
That's what they call those things?
Yeah.
Wow.
A bounce house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I used to call them like a big balloon thingy, but you know.
And there's no charge to ride on any of that. It's all part of the admission fee, which I should mention. It's $10 at the gate. If you have children that are under 10, they're free, and if they're between the ages of 10 and 15, the price is $5.
Okay.
And there's a lot to be had for that.
Are you have anything where you encourage people to bring like a soup kitchen or canned or anything that's going on this year?
Yes, we are. Thank you for reminding me. Congregational Church of Patchogue, we're doing the food drive again for them. This will be our 4th year. They're very appreciative of what we do for them. We'll also have, gift cards to local restaurants, etc., for people who bring the most items. And then this year we're not having the e-waste recycle drive because the Patchogue Medford robotics team can't make it. They're the ones that sponsor that. But
that was fun.
We are doing a drive for our troops in Afghanistan. And the name of the group that's helping us with that is Adopt a Battalion. And they do this on a regular basis. They do it more than monthly. They send items over to Afghanistan that are donated. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, little jars of mouthwash, any of the travel type items, even softballs, frisbees, they'll make a game out of anything that we give to them. So it'll be on.
Well, it's nice that they're thinking about the guys over there.
Yeah.
And the girls too.
Yeah. For sure.
And we're still there too. But so I won't go to the politics. But the politics we will go into is that Americans are out there, and it's nice to have home support.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to community awareness again. I'm
happy that we're doing it this year.
Yeah.
And if the robotics team can make it next year, we'll do all 3 drives.
Yeah. You have a very unique field. That's another thing. You have a large field that you're using, so that if you go in there, you're not going to really feel crowded. You have a very open vibe to it. And for those of you that are not really catching where this is, I tell people that if you've been to the Great South Bay, this is a street that's behind the stage. There's a little street over there, and that's the Fireman Park. And it's easy to get. And the cool advantage to this compared to the Great South Bay is in the Great South Bay you have to park in Spion. I'm kidding. But the point of it is that we have a smaller crowd, not small, but small enough that you don't have to park a million miles away.
Right.
And we're back to the community thing again. And that's a big deal, the parking.
Right. The Village of Patchogue cooperates with us for our parking very much. They give us the...
You are the Village of Patchogue.
Not really.
No, you should be running soon. We'll talk about that off camera. One day I'll get Carl to run.
One thing I'd like to mention that's also new this year is we have a solar cell phone charging station this year for people with their cell phones. And that's courtesy of South Bay Sound, Ernie Swinson. He'll be there with his solar, whatever they are, generating electricity for us to charge our cell phones.
Now, when the evening comes, I guess we should mention this. See, I'm thinking ahead, Carl. When the evening comes, it would help that those people that are staying late help with a little bit of the cleaning up.
Yeah, that would be a great help if they did that. That's one of the reasons why we're doing it in June this year, because in August it just got dark too soon. Yeah, so we could have picked other dates in June, but then there's Father's Day, graduation, parties, so we had to pretty much stick with the beginning of June.
Father's Day is usually right around the longest day of.
Yeah.
Guess Dad needs a long day. You know. So
Well, while we're talking about people helping us clean up, if the cigarette smokers could be mindful of others, and also not to put the cigarette butts on the ground, because they're very hard to find. I went back, on Monday, the following day, to make sure that we did a good cleanup, and there were a lot of cigarette butts.
Yeah, and the cigarette smokers tell you that it's natural to degrade. The only problem is it might take 20 years before that'll really happen. And so, yeah, and we want to leave the park really as Presentine as you get it.
Yeah.
That's the idea, you know. That's a great idea in being a human being, is if you can kind of go somewhere, and when you leave, you have the memory, but you don't leave an imprint, in the environment. That's kind of cool. So the time of year is a little early for me, and I kept thinking I had till August, or October with Mr. October. But June is going to be very cool because I have an open June, and a lot of people do.
I think people are going to be itching to get out to the first festival of the year.
Oh, I think you're right. And there was a rumor that last winter if it was Wednesday, it snowed. And we're not doing that anymore, thank God. but this will be a great time, and I am looking forward to it. And now, I don't know if we have anything else to cover. Do you have any web information or Facebook, anything anybody could reach you on?
Yes, well, on Facebook, it's Carl Big Daddy Reamer, and, I'll be publicizing the event pretty much very soon. And also www.act1entertainment.net. That's the number 1, act1entertainment.net. And on the left-hand side, there's Blockfest links. You just click on Blockfest 14. It gives you an overview there.
That's great. That's great. So, you guys out there, the thing to do now, you heard this, go to a calendar and circle the day, and you can write the word Blockfest, and there you go. Next thing you do, show up.
That's the one bad thing about having something at the beginning of the month. You turn the calendar and there it is. So yeah, put that on your calendar now.
Yeah, and if your calendar flips to another month, list it twice. List it twice. I use computer calendars a lot, too. So things pop up to remind me.
Right.
I like that.
We also have Don Audio back again this year to do sound for us. He does a great job, and very happy that he's available again.
I'll say one thing very positive about Don, because I have the privilege of recording some stuff, and Don's audio is so clean that it gives me, from the video end, what I need to produce it for the video. And Don does a very good job with that clean, distinctive audio.
Yeah, quality is up there and up high on his list.
Yeah. So and he does it with this little iPad-y thing.
Yeah.
Walks away from the stage, you can't even see him.
Right.
So, I don't know if we covered everything. I'm trying to think of anything else that we might need.
June 1st.
June 1st.
Sunday, 11:30 to 9 o'clock. Bring food or buy food there. Admission is $10. It's free if you're under 10, and $5 if you're between the ages of 10 and 15.
There you go. Well, you heard it live. I guess this would be live on tape. Live on tape. In Studio 7. That's where you are, by the way, Studio 7.
I like Studio 7.
That's Studio 7. And that's a wrap.